It's time! Today I'm doing a wardrobe audit for my autumn-winter capsule of 2021. This capsule is special because it's the first capsule that I created since moving here, and you know that I love to sew my own clothes, so a good fraction of the capsule is actually made up of clothes that I sewed myself. I think my relationship with clothes is kind of a love-hate tricky one. I have two main problems. Number one, I feel like I'm kind of still experimenting with my style, so a lot of times I don't know if I actually like the way something looks on me until I've tried it, and not just once, not just twice, but a number of different times. So when I created this 70s inspired mood board with all the jewel tones, it's not because I love the 70s style. I love retro style, but I was just kind of intrigued by how the jewel tones will look on me, and I was just intrigued by how the 70s silhouette will look on me, and that's why I decided to go for it. And the second thing is, when you sew your own clothes, the biggest problem is that you don't get to try the clothes before committing to it. The moment you start cutting the fabric and the moment you're like halfway through sewing it, you're basically committed to it. I really admire those people who can put on something that they just made and then list like 5 things that they love about it immediately. I am a perfectionist, so on a good day, I would be putting on something new that I've made and then going like, this doesn't suck. But the good thing about me is that I'm pretty good at going through things that are like slightly painful. So I actually gave this autumn winter capsule wardrobe a really good go. I wore it on repeat in 2021, of course, and then it actually became my work capsule for the seasons of autumn and winter in 2022, which is now. So I think I have a pretty good idea of what I want to do with all the pieces in this capsule wardrobe. This capsule is made up of 15 pieces in total. I have 4 tops, 4 bottoms, 2 outerwear pieces, 2 dresses, and 3 accessory pieces. I was thinking about making a nice aesthetic flat lay to show you and introduce you to the pieces, but let's face it, this is more like me and this is just my working studio, so boom! I'm gonna show you every single piece, and at the end of it, I'm gonna decide if I'm gonna keep it, alter it, or say goodbye. The truth is, I'm pretty emotional and attached to physical things, so I'm gonna try my best to be as ruthless as possible, because at the end of the day, the aim is decluttering. So I'm gonna start with the tops. This is an easy one. This ready-to-wear turtleneck is something that I got from Uniqlo, and it is my favorite go-to fleece turtleneck that I wear on repeat every time winter comes around. It's a definite keep because if I don't, then I literally have nothing to wear when it's cold. Now let's talk a little bit about this floral blouse. I made this blouse using a pattern that I drafted myself, but the design is actually based off a vintage 70s child's blouse sewing pattern that I have in my stash, but doesn't fit me. I drafted it after a period of not actually drafting a lot of things, and it's complex in the sense that it's got a lot of different features. It's got the collar, it's got the buttons, it's got the gathers under the bust, and it's got the puff sleeves. So even though it's not perfect, I think I did a pretty good job. I do have some plans to maybe make another version of this sometime this year. We'll see. But this obviously is a definite keep. Okay, so far we're like keeping 2 pieces. 2 out of 2 that we've gone through. So what's next? Next we have this burgundy vintage shirt. It's a Japanese vintage shirt. It's made of polyester. It's really nice and soft, and at first glance it looks like it fits me, but it somehow just doesn't sit flat on my chest, and I don't know why. And it's kind of annoying wearing it because it just feels like it's just opening up all the time. And also I'm starting to learn that I don't like this color as a top. I don't like the way it looks. It doesn't give me joy. And even though the color, the style, they are like a perfect fit in this autumn winter capsule wardrobe, as a piece of garment on its own, it's just not giving me joy. So I am going to have to say goodbye to this. Thank you for your service. Now this next one here, is a little tricky. It is my vintage silk blouse. It definitely doesn't fit me very well. It is a tad too big on me. I am sorry about this awful demonstration because the blouse is so crumpled. The fit is not what's bothering me. I think what's bothering me more about this blouse is the fact that, you know, it's hard to take care of it because it's silk. And also, the color isn't really speaking to me. I've been thinking about dyeing it, but I haven't figured out what color I want to dye it. So that's why it's just kind of been like rolled up in my wardrobe. If you have any ideas what color I should dye this, leave a comment and let me know. So far we've gone through 4 pieces and I am only saying goodbye to 1 out of 4, so I need to do better. Next, let's talk about this ready-to-wear pleated skirt. Now, this pleated skirt is actually something that I got, I think either a Batam or a Bintan, and it's actually a school skirt. I got this at one of the supermarkets and it fits me really well. I love that it's got the elasticized bits on the sides. I'm still kind of sitting on the fence about the color, like I mentioned about that burgundy vintage polyester shirt. But because it's a bottom piece, I think I can hang on to it for a little longer and then see how I feel about it. So I'm gonna keep it. Next, let's talk about this pair of vintage burgundy pants. I think my feelings about these pants are very similar to how I feel about the pleated skirt. It fits me really well. I love that it's high-waisted, it's the right length, it's got pockets. It might not be the color that gives me 200% worth of joy, but it really is a nice wardrobe staple, and I feel like if I were to let it go, I would have a gap in my wardrobe. So until I made a pair of pants in a different color that feels 1000% like me, I'm gonna hold on to this pair of pants. Next, we have this half circle skirt, which is my pride and joy. Not because I made the skirt from scratch, because it's a pretty straightforward and simple sewing project, but I actually filmed a step-by-step tutorial on how to draft the half circle skirt pattern with your own body measurements and how to sew it up while working on this project. The whole thing was quite a process, but I'm really proud of the video that I put together. So if you want to kind of learn how to draft your own half circle skirt with 4 panels, definitely check out that tutorial. So I am keeping the skirt and I am also keeping the pinafore bib that goes with it. I made this detachable pinafore bib using the remnant pieces of the thrifted bedsheet that I used to sew my half circle skirt. I just love things that are detachable, reattachable, because it just gives me more ways to style something with a fewer number of clothes. It's a dress one day and the next day it's a skirt. And also when I wear this pinafore dress or even just a half circle skirt with the floral blouse that I made, it's like match made in heaven, and it gives me so much joy and so much satisfaction. So definitely keeping it. Next, let's talk about this corduroy dress. Hate is a strong word, but I think after wearing this repeatedly for like 2 seasons, I can safely say that I hate this dress. Quack, quack, quack. Do you see this? Do you see this joke? I made this dress using a late 60s vintage simplicity sewing pattern and some corduroy that I got at an estate sale, and I hate it. I tried to embrace the fit, but I feel like I should have probably made it a little bit more close-fitting. And this corduroy fabric is so hard to care for. So normally ironing of corduroy is kind of frowned upon because it presses that texture down and it just styles the entire look of the corduroy texture, but it's just like so crumply and I don't know what to do with it. It just makes me look sad. Now, before filming this video, in the back of my head I was thinking maybe I will alter it. Maybe I will shorten it and see if I like the way it looks better. But now that I'm like kind of walking through all the pieces and I feel like I'm keeping so many pieces, I think I should be a little bit more ruthless. And I think because I'm saying that I hate this dress like right now here, I think I'm gonna say goodbye to it. Next, my annual holiday dress of 2021. I made the dress using a vintage Vogue reproduction pattern, and to make sure that this dress really ties in with all the rest of the pieces of my autumn winter capsule, I actually made the bias trim using remnant fabric from sewing the half circle skirt, so it is the exact same shade of green. I can't believe I put in all those time and effort to do the side snap buttons and the bias tape trim and all the hand sewing, but I guess I did that. Oh wait, I forgot to mention this, but I also made a matching belt to go with this skirt with the same thrifted bedsheet. And bonus, I can actually wear my half circle skirt over it because I made sure that it is, I can't remember, either exactly the same length or half to 1 inch shorter than the half circle skirt. And of course, I can also add my detachable pinafore bib over it. It's a keeper! Now, okay, this cardigan is actually really the thing that's kind of triggered and motivated me to film this video because I cannot wait to start doing something about this cardigan. It is a vintage cardigan that I thrifted while I was living in Sydney many moons ago. It's made of this fantastic, I think Aran weight wool. Back then when I thrifted it, I was kind of into the slouchy, oversized look, and while it goes well in this autumn winter capsule, that's it. Other than that, I'm kind of tired of the oversized look. It's not something that I feel like I can just donate because Ramses actually had a little nip in it and I did mend it a couple of months back. So I feel like the possibility of someone actually buying it secondhand is kind of low. But you know what? I can knit. So my plan is to unravel it, get the wool, clean it a little bit, and knit a new cardigan with it. I am at the stage where I'm I cannot wait to cut it up, which is why I needed to film this first and then I can start cutting it up. I'm super excited about this project because I already have an idea of the pattern that I want to use to knit with this yarn. Next we have this vintage Saks Fifth Avenue coat that I kind of rescued. Again, we're having a theme right here. I like things detachable, reattachable. So I actually unpicked the stitches and I mended bits of the backing that's kind of started wearing out with a new piece of fabric, and I made it detachable by attaching snap buttons all around it. I know it's a tad big on me, but I feel like it's something that I can definitely continue to wear and enjoy, and it's just like a classic piece of clothing. It's a trench coat. What else can you ask for? So I am keeping it. Okay, let's talk about this red vest. I made this red vest using some thrifted bedsheet and I also hate it. It was fun after I made it because it goes so well with the pleated skirt, but other than that, it's nah. And it also doesn't fit very well. I feel like I made the armholes a little small. So this is an easy one. I am going to say goodbye to it, and I think I might cut it up and do something with the fabric pieces. Lo and behold, I have a green version of the vest, and again, I made it using, you guessed it, the remnant piece of the thrifted bedsheet that I used to make the half circle skirt. So I feel like these pieces actually go really nicely together as a little capsule on its own, and I definitely want to keep them together because I feel like it's a nice weekend wardrobe. If I ever go on a little weekend trip to, I don't know, New England or something, that's very specific, but you get my point. So I'm gonna keep it. And we have my newsboy hat. This hat is my crowning glory because I drafted the sewing pattern from scratch after having a lot of trouble trying to find newsboy hat design that isn't too baggy around the head area. And then it also went on to be my first sewing pattern that I put available for purchase. So I definitely made this to go with my corduroy dress, which I have now learned to hate a lot. So I don't know what I'm gonna do with this. I guess it exists fine as a hat on its own, but I always like to have like my things go together, because what's the point of like making something that doesn't go with something that already exists in my closet, right? I have some remnant pieces of this corduroy fabric. I'm gonna pull them out to see if I can actually put a little button front A-line skirt together, so that could be the project for sometime in the future. In any case, I'm definitely saving this, like it's so cute. So out of 15 pieces in my autumn winter capsule, it looks like I've only picked out 3 pieces to say goodbye to. I don't know if it's because I'm not ruthless enough, but I feel like I really tried to go through the process in a logical manner. I don't know, you can tell me if there are pieces that you think that I should have definitely said goodbye to. You're not gonna hurt my feelings, it's okay. In terms of things that I'm saying goodbye to, if it's things that I've made, I am probably going to be cutting it up and repurposing the materials for future projects. So lately I've been thinking about transforming this little painting of mine into a quilted vest / jacket thing, maybe. And I thought this red fabric could be the flowers. Now for the vintage shirt, I'm actually taking that along with a number of other vintage clothes that I'm ready to say goodbye to. And I'm gonna see if I can sell them to the vintage stores that have been popping up in my town. I know I probably will get more money out of like selling them on Poshmark or something like that, but I just don't want to go through the process. Like really, I am not expecting to get a lot of money out of it. I just want like enough money for like say 2 cups of boba tea really. So if you are interested in having a closer look at my process of making any of these pieces right here, I have my autumn winter capsule playlist put together. And if you are curious about creating your own capsule wardrobe, then definitely check out this video right here where I go through my steps to curating and creating a capsule wardrobe. You definitely don't want to miss that one out. Thank you so much for watching my video this week. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe for more sewing and wardrobe chit chat, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!